Blessings, I'm Jewels, and you're watching the BioQuantum Transformation Show. And I have Rose James with me. And gosh, she has already been through quite a journey. We were just reflecting a little bit before she got on. And I just want to check in with you, Rose, just to see how the journey has been. And then I want to kind of create a little container of support so that you can continue to evolve.
Thank you, Jules. I am so grateful for this time with you. I want to say about the journey, and what I want to share with everyone is how um, transformational is really a good word that describes it, and to what to expect, and how each of the sessions and processes build on each other in just a beautiful way that it adds clarity to like the intention and the question that I had, and just sort of like it reorganizes reality around you, right? So that's kind of like what I feel, and just for me an overwhelming sense of gratitude for this gift, for this opportunity, right? So I want to make sure I do that. So I can start with the first one I had was Rebecca. And um and by the way, all of it, Rebecca, Katie, Neil, like these are people that I absolutely know and adore and love and respect, because what I have seen, the gifts that they bring, and the sort of the energy that they bring to the community. It's just beautiful and pure and loving and authentic, and the vulnerability that they show that helps the rest of us to also be vulnerable. So all of that was amazing, that they're the people that are leading this whole this process. So well chosen, of course, divinely chosen. So that's why we know. Okay, so starting with Rebecca, with my DQ session, what I told Rebecca was like, I was at this stage in my life that I felt like listening to intuition, whatever. It's like wasn't it was too soft. Like I don't know if the voice is this is intuition, or if this is just my own mind, or what is it. So we really worked on clearing these programming so that I can almost unequivocally know, like say, hey, divine, make it like, and you've said that a lot in the different practices that we've done, like ask for what you want. Let it be super clear. Is this a yes? Is this divine yes? How do I know? Like tell it to me, make it unequivocal so I will know. So we did that, and we did that clearing, and we said, going forward, you will know it. And right after my session with Rebecca, I was, because I asked for like my career and the clarity, and like what is my next, so I should know. I feel like I'm at a crossroads at my current job. Like, do I continue there? I know that maybe there's not a promotional path in terms of a career, but I'm still learning some stuff. What do I need to do in that interim? How do I trust in that next? And then, and the thing that I said, what do I love? And the thing that I have been loving is like being like a little bit of a teacher and a mentor. I see myself like do a lot of mentoring with the younger attorneys. And I was in one of the conference rooms, and the two little baby attorneys were waiting for me to they had the room after me. And it's just so lovingly that they waited out there and just kind of, hey Rose, we see you're in here, and we're just like quietly, they didn't interrupt me because I had my eyes closed and everything. And they just waited and were just like supportive. Just like I felt the love from them as I'm exiting the room. And so right away I saw sort of clarity on like the reason why these two people reacted to me that way is because of the relationship I had formed, right? They respect me. They see me as somebody who they look up to, and those kind of things, right? So that right was like, oh, so you are doing something right, right? It's effective right there. So there was that immediate feedback was wonderful. And then so with Katie, again, I was telling you, Jules, like before every session, I've always like a lot of static and things come up, and I'm like, oh, just go forward and this will be okay. And then it's just like almost like, I don't want to say a magic wand, but that's what comes in. It just kind of like smooths the ripples, and things just kind of calm down, and like peace almost, a sense. So with Katie, we were talking about a clarity about my purpose. Like I said, like what do I do next? It just so happened that the schedule for my meeting, for my session with Katie, was that I was going to be volunteering with some female entrepreneurs to let them know about intellectual property law and sort of like what they should be considering. And just in that process, I, like, is that what I should do next or whatever? That's the end thing. And so, right. And so we said, let's get the clarity on that. And then when Katie and I were talking about teaching, she said, Rose, it's not teaching in the way that, she said, what I'm feeling is very expansive. So, not in the way that you normally think about teaching, not that you'll be a professor, right? This is just like make it undefined. What in the way that you can bring that forth? And I thought, oh, and I felt it too when she said it. It felt very, very vast. And soon after, when I was in that session with those young ladies, they were very engaging. They asked me a lot of questions, and at the end of it, the owner of it's called Dream Mentorship. That owner, she said to me at the end, she's like, Rose, I just want to say, I feel like I need to say this, that you're such a good teacher.
Love it.
Right? And it's just right that, like I said, the feedback is instantaneous. It's just wonderful. And I said to her, well, it's those words that you selected those words for a reason, right? And that was so great. And then we get to Neil, and he's like, this is your DNA, divine, your blueprint. This is what you're here to do. And he's like, 33, the pioneer, the sort of like, and I'm like, wow, this is so large and amazing, right? And it feels, and I'm like, I'm so honored to even so he told me like the thing to overcome, like my lesson in life was so lack and struggle and putting a lot of effort thinking that's what I need to move forward and that kind of thing. I was like, yes. It was like, Jules, it's like unveiling, right? Every, like you talk about the remembrance, every one of these codes, the six codes, just like remember it, cause a remembrance and unveiled something, right? I'm like, oh, so that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. And for me, like having all of this doubt in myself and my next, at the end, what Neil said to me is that you've done so much. You've already accomplished so much, Rose. Don't, like, when you think about yourself in your life, you've already accomplished so much. And I'm just like, oh, oh, okay, yeah. It was just so beautiful for that moment because that's a thing I'm always seeing what I haven't done and what I need to do, and I don't appreciate the effort and what I have achieved, right? And so that was a beautiful thing for me to have that reflection from him, to have that recognition from the divine that I've done a lot that I should be proud of. so so that's how it's all. And then so Neil actually told me that because I have the device, he said to me, start, he's like, use it. And I was like, okay. So after I spoke to Neil, I did my first session. I was like, oh, let me see like how I can use it for, because he gave me some of the tools that you and I will talk about, but to use my copper card to do resets. And he said, just, press on the symbol, and I'll, just kind of like have the intention and I could have a reset. But then, he said that you can also use that device. And I was like, one day, one afternoon, I was like, what I really need is I want to make a decision on something I was working on. So I really want to have some mental clarity. And for 30 minutes, I just put it on. And like I said, the ripples, 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 and calm. And I get that decision. Also, the day that I had my session with Neil, I just had a great sense of levity and joy. It was just so light. I was just so joyful. It's okay. So, yeah, I was just like, just had, because there's so many heavy things going around, and I was just like unbothered and just kind of like, like that childlike innocence and joy, and just was having fun.
I
Exactly.
love it.
Yeah.
And as you're saying that, just right before we got on, we were talking about that. Gosh, like, girl, if you did nothing else the rest of your life, you did it. Right? I mean, you really did. You've done such amazing work, and not just in your professional life, but in your just your
Mhm.
spiritual journey, your personal
Yes.
journey.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's amazing.
Yeah. And I agree, like with the even when we talk about, and this started with Rebecca when she was saying, well, let's look at the programming. And she said, well, it's still here, but it's light. It's not, there's not that density because of all of the work that I have done. And even when I talk about my upbringing and sort of like my relationship with my mom, I can look back at it and see it. And it's not, there's not an emotional hurt or pain, that has, thankfully and, gratefully been resolved, right? That is not something that I carry at all, right? Yes. Yeah. And
You're
and
giving
that's
me
huge.
chills.
This is this work that has got me there. And Jules, going all the way back to 2020 when I first had a one-on-one with you, and I came in and I talked about the spiritual process and my fear of leaving my sister behind, because my sister is the closest person to me. And you said, well, Rose, what if it's possible that you're not changing or leaving anybody behind, that it just, your relationship evolves in a different way. And I am happy to say that even the things that my sister, that I thought, because my sister's more buttoned down and she's definitely a little more the lawyer type, whatever, and like discerning and like, no, that doesn't make sense. You question these things. Um, and she just accepts, like she beautifully accepts me. And even the things she doesn't understand. And sometimes she's like, hey, Rose, I know you're doing your thing. Can you help me with that? Like she even will inquire of needing support. And she believes there's a sense of like trust and belief that I think I have in my own journey, because she's seen me and she's seen the weight that I've carried. She's seen the, kind of how I've navigated my life, and she gets to experience my journey, my becoming as well. And I think that serves as an example for her to be like, oh yeah, this is great. I see it in Rose. So anyway, I just want you to know that I didn't lose anything in my spiritual journey. I just gained a lot.
You
Yeah.
know what? I feel like I really want to highlight this right now because I feel like that we hear that a lot of, oh, well, if I continue my personal journey, my spiritual journey, then I'm going to leave people behind. And
Yeah.
it's just, it doesn't normally happen. If
Yeah.
anything, it
Correct.
brings us
Hmm.
closer together and the
Yes.
relationships become more authentic and
They
transparent and
do.
beautiful.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. It's true. It's absolutely true. I agree 100%. And the ones that change, that maybe have left behind, it's not, I don't have a void or a pain or anything. Like some of these things are from like it was, the reason they were in my life was not really for, they were, the lessons they were there to teach me have been taught. Right. And I have, so I've resolved it. So there's no, I don't know how to explain, but there's not a sense of loss. That's
Exactly.
what people are concerned of. There isn't a sense of loss because you're not losing anything.
That's so beautiful, right? And we always hear this that change is the one consistent thing in our life, and it's when we resist change or we hold on to things that we experience pain. And I just want to honor you because I have witnessed you change over these years, and it has been, I mean, every time I see you, first of all, you glow. You glow. You're beautiful, you're amazing, your
Thank
light
you.
shines so brightly. And so I want to kind of go to where you were when you first started the journey, because I feel like there's
Yes.
something that's trying to be revealed. And I want to just highlight just a couple of
Please.
things that you said. So one is the intuition, right? A lot of us were just like, oh, like I need that knowing, that yes. And I think there's some really fun ways that we can play with that. So one way
Yes.
I love is that
Mhm.
if it is a yes,
Yeah.
if it's something I need to pay attention to, give me the chills.
Oh, okay.
I love that one.
I love that. I love that one. Okay. Okay. I could use that one. I could use that one because that's such a clear sign, right? And as you said it, I get the chills because it's like, aha, that's like a yes, Rose, that will work because you would know right away.
Yeah,
Right? Oh, I love that. I love that one.
it is. And then I always, when I ask a question, that's the first thing I do is I go to my
Mhm.
body
Yes.
and I look for that sign. And sometimes it's I don't actually get the chills, but I can like get the pre-chills, right?
Yes.
Because I
Yes. No,
can't
I
get
know what you
the whole
mean.
chills.
Yes. No, it's like your body sort of knows. It's a very like for my body's a very good instrument of like responding. And even before I would say I from our journey together, I started relying on my intuition more, like trusting that voice more. And just like the what you say, the listen and do, the even when I don't fully understand, when I get the hits of you need to do something, it's often pretty clear, right? And what I struggle with explaining it to others, like, like for example, for now, way early when I moved to Seattle, I did get the hit that the next place you need to be is Los Angeles. You're like, oh, why would you need to be Los Angeles? I cannot answer that, Jules. I don't know why. I just know that next I need to be in Los Angeles.
Okay, and guess what? I'm getting chills.
Right, right. And so yeah, and so honoring that voice to do it. And I think that's here in Seattle, I see all of them, the beauty. One of the people I've met, but something I picked up here is the practice of Pilates and how I prioritize that and take care of my body and how my body has transformed at my age. I have one of the baddest, strongest bodies around.
I
Like
love it.
physically. And
I
forget define age. It's not even an age thing. Just period. Right. But it's just like and we've done a lot of different work in your in different courses and how that the mind body connection, the whole thing about our physical vessel and how that is part of the entire journey. I really believe in that. And then for some reason Pilates gave me that practice to that reflects and shows me back like my youthfulness, my strength in what I can do, my ability to find focus and grounding, all of that. Right. So I think that was important for me to have that. I never did Pilates before. I did, before myself. So that was some, with all the other things. I'm just pointing to like one thing that was important for me to learn and incorporate into my life.
I think it's so important, right? Because again, what I'm hearing is that strength in our body is also a
Yes.
reflection of strength of our connection to source because
Yes.
they're not separate. They're the same.
Correct. Yes. Yes. I agree.
Oh my gosh, it's so
And then
beautiful.
I got chills from it because I do see it. I see that connection very clearly. Yeah.
Yes. And what I love about I mean, not to go into the Pilates thing a little bit more, but what I love about it is that it's also flexibility. And so it's
Yes.
flexibility and
Yes.
going to your
Flexibility.
code that was
Yes.
kind of about like kind of overcompensating or over striving. It's allowing that flexibility and that softness.
Yes.
So it's strength, but it's
Yes.
so flexible.
Flexibility and soften that mobility. Yeah, that agility. Yeah, no, you're right. That does fit in. Pilates does is like a good metaphor for a lot of a lot. My codes, yes, really.
I
So I
really love
love
it.
how they connect, right? Like I always say, we can't make it up because it's just so beautiful how all of these things are intentional, right? They all fit. It all fits. It all
It
fits
all
together.
fits. Well,
Yeah.
it shows that you really are choosing what's in alignment for you, and it does. And I did look at your frequency or your DM. It's the DNA ascension map,
The DNA essential map. Yes. Yes.
and so I saw that your law was
Hmm.
the law of vibration. And when I saw
Yes.
that, I was like, how perfect is that for Rose?
Yes. Yes. And Jules, even like you and I have had maybe a session where I talked about time and like for me, that's been a challenge of like all of the work that I do and like not having enough time and being the stress with time. And who knew that part of the technology was what that is the one I can naturally do is that time shifting, right? And where time is not an obstacle, where it's multidimensional. And that just blew my mind. I'm like, oh my God, so of course that makes sense because I'm always like, I'm always like, oh my God, I have so much to do. The time, we don't have the time. And then it's like, no, girl, you actually do have we can that's something that is multidimensional. And one of the ways that I was telling Neil when I thought about it is that, for example, if I have something to do, like I have to a lot of reading to do, whatever, i can I can bring in a different timeline where I know where I can recall that information that I need. And guess what, it's possible. This is not it sounds outrageous, but it is very much in our ability because of the technology, because of the remembering, because of our DNA and what is possible for us. Like that's where you say that we're heading. But I see it so clearly. And sometimes I get access to it, because maintaining our frequency at that level is, you still have the stability of staying there. But when Jules, I hit that those times I hit it, I have that information when I need it.
That's amazing. So I want to give you a little tool here of with both the law of vibration and your conscious shifting timelines. So one thing that you can do when you're just feel a little overwhelmed and you need more time, what I want you to do is just activate that eight and then also activate the law of vibration. So the law of vibration is going to move your kind of your spirit or your body or what you're feeling into the frequency of your highest timeline because that's what you're here to master. And then
Yes,
when you
yes.
activate the eight for the to shift into the highest timeline, what it also can do is kind of open up more time because when we think about time,
Yes,
when we're in linear time, but when we're
yes.
just doing in the highest frequency is when more time actually opens up and we have the experience of doing more in less time. And so start playing with that
Okay.
and see what
I
happens.
will. Yes, no, I am excited about that possibility because, you know, that's the thing that more than anything that I would, that's like the next thing for me, right? That there's so much I want to do. And if I am in that highest timeline, I'm able to do it. And again, not with all of the striving, right? And to do it to do it effortlessly because, yeah, so I'm excited about that. And I already see some of it, right? Like I said to you, there are times when I'm able to hold a frequency at a level where I am just amazed at, at what I can accomplish in the same amount of time. Yeah.
I absolutely love it. And that might be a fun one to do
Yeah.
as your intention with the Evo Start
Yes.
Twice
Okay.
is you mastering timelines and just see what happens, right?
Okay. I
Like if
will do
you
that. Okay. I'm
need a
gonna do
little
that.
extra time, put it
Yes.
on, put that your intention in, run
Yes.
it, and see what you
Yes.
get done in 30
Okay.
minutes.
Okay. I love that. I love that. I love that. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna do that. That one is done. I'm gonna do that one.
It's
I
it's
love
right
it.
at your
Yes.
well, I was gonna say your fingertips, but I guess it's at your wrist. But
It's at my wrist. At my finger, yeah, at my wrist and my fingertips, all at the same time.
oh my gosh, yeah, that one will be really fun. I'm gonna try that one as well. How fun
Yeah.
is that? And then the other one that I'm
Hmm.
betting would be good for you is if you kind of are having one of those days where maybe you're striving to kind of stabilize your
Yes.
frequency in that higher timeline.
Yes.
And
Yes.
put the frequency watch on and put
Okay.
the mastery of the law of vibration as your
Okay.
intention.
As my intention. Okay.
That's what you're here to master is that you
Yes.
you are not changing
Mm-hmm.
your vibration based on the programmed body, but you're
Yes.
here to actually master the law of vibration by being the expression of source at all times. Right? And that's what that
Oh,
means
good.
to master that
Yes.
law. And it's so perfect
Yes.
for you just because I know you.
Yes.
And I'm just like,
Yes. No,
I
it is
saw that.
perfect for me. Yeah, it is so perfect for me. So it's like, yes. Okay. So I'll do that. I'm excited to do that one. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I must say, like, I'm really, so for anyone who's going through this process, it's so exciting to see what's possible for the next. And again, it's not like every day is like, oh, this is wonderful or whatever, but it's just having it's just having mostly ease and space and joy, and being able to come back to that in whatever is happening. It's, I think, one of the things that you talked about was, and I think even Neil told me, it's like you bring, maybe it's the vibration you bring, like, I don't have to worry about what the environment is, because you just bring, I bring that vibration and it keep and stabilize it, right? So it doesn't, you don't have to, oh, I'm entering this thing and then that this thing might be going on. That's no concern. It's gonna come and hold my, my frequency at that level, and that's it. And it changes the reality around you. It really does.
it does.
um yeah. And even in your own way, like, I'll say, like, on Saturday we had the non gravity retreat, and then after the retreat, that after that, the end of the day, I was walking out with a friend. I said, oh, let's go for a walk, and didn't even know, like, there was a parade. They had like a seafair parade that was happening, and Jules and I stayed, and this parade had, like, for Seattle, all of the community, like the high school and the college marching bands, all of these different floats of different things. And it was just like and I ran into some friend, like, I was walking, we ran into some other friends I hadn't seen for a while, and they had a great, like, look, seat for the where the parade was starting. And we stopped and stayed. And it was indeed one of the most fun, beautiful, freeing time that I've, like, had in forever. It was just, like, so amazing. And I knew why. I knew kind of like why that was happening. But yeah, so having access to life in that way, right? And appreciating it, like, not a lot of things go on, but in that moment, and to give yourself that opportunity to experience that in that way, it was it was so beautiful and so perfect. And I loved it. I loved everything about it. It was so great.
I just love that. And that's going back to right before we got on, we were talking about, I can't remember exactly what brought it up, but I looked out and a moose was running by. And you know what was really fun is that he wasn't just running, he was playing. And as you were talking, that's what I could feel that playfulness and that and what we looked it up, and it was that quiet power. And that also going back to your ascension map is
Mm-hmm.
your purpose is
Yes.
mastery, right?
Yes.
Mastery
Yeah.
is enjoying life.
Yeah.
It's finding the
Yeah.
joy in it. Okay.
Yeah.
So Rose, I'm gonna bring this full circle
Yes.
because I know a big theme that you had as you were going through this transformation was what was kind of next for you in your career. That was like kind of the one place in your life you're like, yeah, I'm just not really sure. And
Yeah.
I'm just going to share with you what I'm picking up. Okay. Is that it's not about trying to figure it out right now, but it's about where am I trying to figure it out from? Am I trying to feed into that part of me that always feels like I need to be striving? And is that where I'm going to create my choice from now, or is it from that silent little power, that place of enjoying life, that place of mastery that I'm going to choose my next? And it's I don't know, there's just something really magical I feel like that is trying to reveal itself is that when you're ready to make that choice, it's going to come from a different place than maybe it
Yeah.
was just a couple weeks ago.
Yes. And Jules, remember we talked about the intention of getting chills, and as you said it, just like I felt the chills, and I agree with you, and I felt this happened even just yesterday. So I had a I've been for a while trying to get this mentor to have a discussion with this person. Her name is Kim Nelson. She's a corporate, she's like on the corporate boards. She's like a business executive. I think now she's doing consulting. And she decided one of my little mentees got me a meeting with her, and she's given me 30 minutes. And she was like, and I specifically wanted to talk to her about my next. And she didn't have a lot of background on me. So she just know I'm like somebody in my 50s who's like sitting where telling her about my next. And I talked about my career, like what I am doing now. And her response, it was beautiful. It so helped me. She was like, well, if you want to be a chief legal officer, or you want to be like, go further in this career and do blah, 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 consulting, these are the paths you need and blah, blah. And what I was receiving as she was speaking was like the part of me that's like, um where do I make this decision from? Is it the part that's striving, or will I? And then I right like afterwards, I didn't, because I was becoming overwhelmed. And I'm like, oh, she's not seeing me, I'm doing all these things and I'm not the right person, and and then I just pulled back. But then I did use the watch. I did use the watch. And then I was, because I sent her a beautiful thank you, I pulled back, and I realized she's given me some really, really good information. I will take that information into sort of consideration, see but I don't need to make any hard decisions right now. I don't need to strive and be concerned about what I've done and what I haven't done and where I should be and what I shouldn't be. Just let that next thing happen. Right? Yeah. So when you said that, it's like, yeah. And it, it's not an earth shattering thing. It's just like, let that come and make that decision from that frequency.
I'm getting chills as I'm about to say this. What if instead of even going into that place of, I'm just going to say it, what if the divine picks your next?
Yeah.
What if
Yeah.
it's just, you know what?
Yes.
I am
Yes.
totally open. I
Yes.
have, I am just ready for my
Yes.
next to
I'm
be
ready for my
what the
yes.
divine.
For the divine. Yes. Yes. Yes, true. I That's it. That's it for me. Yeah. And I'm ready for that. And I know it'll be my next the best next thing for me. Yes.
And
That's it.
I have a feeling it's going to be like a adolescent muse jumping
Yes.
and playing in its quiet power.
I would love that.
My goodness. Well, I do feel I just,
Mm.
you know what this is the message I'm going to share. One more message is that I'm hearing is that, the success is really honoring that quiet power and letting that quiet power be the thing that leads you. And girl, we're going to just go back and kudos to Neil for pointing this out, is
Yeah.
that you have done so much, not just in your career, but in your personal journey and in your relationships. I mean, really, you
Yes.
mark all the boxes. You've done it. And like, what if now it's like, okay, I did that, right?
I did
And
that.
I'm going to say you didn't do it alone. The divine has had your back
Yes,
all
absolutely. All along, just waiting for me to catch up.
exactly. And now that you've come to this kind of place of,
Yes.
wow, what is my next in my career? And you know what? I'm just going to give that to the divine too.
I'm just going to give that to the divine too. I'm just going to give that to the divine and just enjoy this process and enjoy the the technology and the tools and life, and the opportunity that we have to be here and to because I said that from the beginning. For me, the greatest gift I can do is have the way that I live my life be uh something for someone else, an inspiration for someone else, brighten their day, and sort of like something that they can see of a way to live and exist,
I
right?
can tell you every time I see you, I light up. So even if you say nothing and you're just sitting in your chair, you do just that. I mean, really, I want you to take that in because it's so true, is that your light, you did it. You're shiny. Now it's just going and living it and enjoying it. And I know that's kind of where you were at when you started this. You knew there wasn't a lot, right? You were in this place, and I'm gonna say you kind of come back to that same place of I don't have to have it figured out. I just
Yes.
have to keep saying yes to the next right thing.
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. But this process added, like pump up the volume kind of thing. It did that for me. And it was needed. And it's almost like I said the words in the beginning, but it's sort of like I feel the words and vibrate the words. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not just coming out of my mouth. It's like living it, right? And that's the transformation that I have been through.
Oh,
So,
well, I can tell you it has been such a joy witnessing your transformation. And I am just so excited for you to just continue forward and let the divine lead the way. And you have some amazing tools and also just a lot of reflection of bringing. I'm sure
yes.
there's going to be little times as you go forward on this path that you're going to be like, oh, yeah, I remember that from that session.
Yes, yes, agreed, agreed. And I look forward to that. And yeah, and I thank you and I thank the team. And, again, this work that you're bringing forth and everyone involved, it's just so important, and impactful, all of those words. And I'm so grateful for it. I'm grateful that I found you, that we found each other, that, that all of this timing lined up, and I'm grateful that I can represent it in my life for others to experience it and see it.
Girl, my
So
heart
thank
is
you.
just, I need
Yay!
the words coming out, but
Yes, yeah, can we do the hearts? Yeah, I love those hearts. It is the best.
oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much just for your vulnerability, your transparency, your joy, and your love, and for sharing it with the community. It just means so much to me. And I know it means so much to those that are listening, and of course, to the practitioners that got to experience this journey with you.
Thank you.
Great. Well, lots of love to you and lots of love to everybody that's listening. We are just sending you a great big hug. And until we meet again, really think about what
Yay.
your divine next is and go follow it.